ABC News senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky has been on this story, joins us now. Aaron, so it's hard to keep up with this story. Day after day, we're learning more that isn't true about George Santos. What are you learning today?
A couple of things, Terry. One, he had claimed at one point to have attended the elite Horace Mann School here in New York, up in the Bronx. And we talked to the school. The school said it has no record of him ever attending. And then the other thing we're learning too, Terry, is that Santos is going under the microscope by yet a third prosecutor's office. You have federal prosecutors out of Brooklyn who are taking a look at his financial disclosures, the district attorney in Nassau County on Long Island who's looking into what she called fabrications and inconsistencies that are nothing short of stunning. And now you have the Queens District Attorney's Office, so the other area that his district encompasses, taking a look to see whether any crimes were committed. There's no guarantee that there are, but you now have a lot of eyes on Santos, his biography, and his financial disclosures.
Well, let me follow up on that. As you point out, it is not a crime for politicians to lie to voters. God knoweth that. I mean, they've been doing it most of American history. But this is pretty striking. There is nothing to prevent Santos from being seated in Congress next week because there's nothing illegal about lying to voters. What kinds of things, might prosecutors be looking at?
Well, I think they're primarily interested in the sources of his wealth and how he seemed to go from rags to riches nearly overnight, and whether any of the money that he loaned his campaign, more than $700,000, whether that was done properly. It's not clear that there necessarily is a crime to actually investigate. They're only taking a look at publicly available findings at this stage. But I think that all of these eyeballs are now on him shows that he hasn't been able to really clear this up. He's done a series of interviews on television and in print that only seem to cloud his biography and an upbringing, from what he's done to who he is.
And on this question of how he got to be a congressman-elect, I got to say the opposition researcher of his opponent probably should never be hired to do that job again. I mean, this is like shooting fish in a barrel, it seems now that people are actually looking at his resume. But he got this far, beating an incumbent Democrat in New York City. Why didn't the Democrat, it seems like political malpractice not to find some of this stuff?
Yeah, really, it's on the opposition research. Maybe it's on us too, Terry, and the press for not digging in. To be fair, some of this did come up during the campaign, but nothing really seemed to stick until after the fact, when the New York Times laid it all out in a single, rather stunning article about all the discrepancies, what Santos calls resume padding, and that other people call outright lies. And Terry, I don't know what it says about us. Does it say that we don't care because certain voters have been trained as long as you have the R or the D next to your name? That's what matters. And in this case, let's stick it to Pelosi and the Democrats, and who cares what he says? Or have we come as a country to expect so little integrity from our elected officials? Whatever the reason, Santos is prepared to take his seat in Congress on Tuesday. He says he will not resign, and the only way that he would leave office is if voters kick him out in the next election.
Right, and he's got some time to try to repair the damage that he's done to himself by lying to the voters so extensively. Aside from his lies about his professional financial background, Santos once has called himself a proud American Jew, and then he said he never claimed to be Jewish, and that he's a proud Catholic. So what's been the reaction to those, offensive claims? Especially at one point he said, well, he's not Jewish, he's Jewish.
Jewish is how he puts it, and he says he's a practicing Catholic. That's how he was raised. He does have, he says, ties to people who fled the Holocaust and who were in Ukraine, but he says he doesn't carry any kind of a Ukrainian name. We heard from a rabbi today, Terry, in his district, who said for her it's just offensive to kind of claim ties to the Holocaust for political gain, and she said that's just not what anybody should be doing. There are a number of Jewish groups who are quite upset about how Santos presented himself on the campaign trail. But as you point out, Terry, being untruthful or misrepresenting who you are is not necessarily a crime and may not be cause for being taken from office.
Yep, well, if he is a practicing Catholic, sounds like he's got to practice a little harder on some of these things. Aaron Katersky, thanks very much for that.
Thanks, Terry.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.